Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are. So excited to have the opportunity to welcome you to this exciting hour where we're going to learn about a lot of the latest in technology. We are going to meet Feder from Gart Solutions that's going to take us into the world of DevOps. So, warmly welcome, Feder.
Hello, everyone. Today I am going to talk about DevOps, about ROI and value of DevOps projects, and how to do some kind of math when you plan some DevOps activities. A couple of words about me. I'm Feder, and I'm a DevOps engineer with more than 15 years experience in DevOps in tech industry in general. Also, I'm a co-founder of Gart Solution company, which actually working on DevOps field and provide DevOps services like infrastructure setup, like cloud integration, like security things into the market. A couple of words about DevOps in our days. So basically, DevOps it's not some specific person or not even a role in a project. From our point of view, DevOps is some kind of symbiosis of people, technology stack, communities, approaches, methodologies, and all this stuff need to improve and provide some kind of value and boost your project. So basically, we think that DevOps is some kind of threads which can connect and help to communicate different organizational units in project inside. It should connect development with operations, business with operations, QA with security, development with delivery, and so on and so on and so on. And our main goal is to build these threads, automate it, and make it as much effective as it possible. What we think when we start some kind of activities in terms of DevOps on the project is business objectives. Because business should be always like at the forefront, and all decision and all technologies which we try to provide should be business relevant. And according to fact that all projects are different, DevOps requirements for each project are always unique. To manage and planning DevOps projects, we usually use some different metrics. However, they are always, as I mentioned, should be unique per different project. For example, project can be related to some SaaS online platform with tons of users, with online payment system, with integration with other third-party services, or it can be some kind of internal platform for specific clients for their internal needs with heavy data load operation and something like this. It means that metrics to identify what will be useful and what ROI definition should be on the project should be totally different. For example, one of the main metric is is the application downtime. In case of SaaS online platform, each hour of downtime means lose money. It can be thousands and thousands of dollars. However, from perspective of internal platform solution, downtime can be not so like important things. Much more important, it's like a stability of heavy operation, consistency of data, and so on. Another thing is deployment frequency. For online platform project is pretty much important to deliver new feature into the market as soon as possible, so as fast as possible, because of huge concurrency on the market, because of flexibility, because you need to be adapt to changes with your integration services, so many different conditions. However, for internal platform projects, new feature is not so important. Much more important is to guarantee delivery of your updates to multiple clients with your customization, with specific legal approaches, and so on. So different vision to the same situation. As I mentioned, different project, different priorities, different metrics to manage ROI. And it means that it's really hard to calculate and forecast your upcoming activities. However, it's one of the most common metric and one of the common things on the project. It's a budget. Budget is important everywhere, and it's always on the table. And you should always be sure that budget is under your control. So from the beginning of the project, it's extremely important to identify potential part of your infrastructure, processes, and workflows which can start be most expensive in future. It's a simple example. For example, a project with online gambling. From the beginning can be really like cheap in terms of infrastructure and in terms of inbound traffic. However, when your users start to be more active and you have more and more active users, your traffic inbound starts be very high. And for example, in case if your infrastructure located in AWS, you start getting huge build just to manage your inbound traffic. And probably you need to think about it from the beginning when you start this project and calculate your business model in terms of infrastructure. But not only direct costs is important. A lot of stuff regarding budget is hidden from the first point of view. For example, when you build your infrastructure, you can easily start working with a popular cloud provider like AWS or Microsoft and use their native services, which are really easy to implement, really easy to maintain, really easy to integrate between each other. It's not required engineer hours for maintaining. It's very stable, everything good except price. So you will pay for your subscription, for traffic, for computes, for multiple other things included in cloud provider subscription. On the other hand, you can easily decide that you won't have everything on like a local host provider or even on-premise devices. However, you need to remember that all configuration you're doing for yourself, you need to maintain by yourself. So you need to pay salary for your DevOps engineer or for system administrator or SRE, whatever. It means that the simple rule is cheapest infrastructure means that it will be expensive maintenance. According to resource recommendation when you start planning your project, we follow to the simple rule which describe three main components of each project. It's a people, money, and time. Two of them can be like managed by project owner, by the business. It's a people and money. However, the time is usually out of our control. So when your business model is on a stage when you are a startup and you need to jump online as fast as you can, probably you need to speed up your people, extend your team, invest more money, and so on. However, when you care about your budget and you not need to like meet some kind of deadlines, you probably can postpone some kind of features, but save your budget, save your human resource, and so on. So how to manage and how to think about DevOps ROI and DevOps transformation. You can start from reports of global companies like Google and Microsoft. They usually provide on a yearly basis really great documents which describe new approaches, some kind of relationship between business and DevOps, what kind of tools you can use, what kind of feedback you can take, what kind of value you can bring. According to our company, we usually suggest to start from some kind of consulting. We provide free consultation for our potential client and initial DevOps audit, where we overview existing condition of the project and provide our suggestion, our vision of improvements and so on. So as a result, you can get a report with quick wins, with some kind of profits which can be achieved in a nearest time and on a long perspective. It's a list of our features which you can get in environment and infrastructure audit. And after that, clients can get and can decide, do they need DevOps activities on their project, or even you can postpone it for some time. That's it from my side. Thank you for your attention. I am open for a question.
That sounds great. Thanks a lot, Fedor. So I think it was very exciting, and there's so much many opportunities to make this the environment so much more stable with DevOps, and also to reduce time to market when you're going to launch new services, which will happen quite often. So I think it sounds like DevOps is a good idea to many cases, but probably you need your expertise to really dig deeper to understand where it fits the best. But I really have some questions for you. And you made me really curious to understand more. And so maybe you can share some examples on where you have worked with DevOps and where DevOps has really been a success case.
Thanks for your question. It's a good point, because currently we are working on a really interesting project which actually related to environmental industry. And it's what I mentioned during the presentation. It's some kind of platform for internal usage for multiple clients over the world, and it's maintain and manage yell and fill operations. And we decide to create some kind of, we call it RMF. It's a resource management framework, and it's some kind of unified system which are able to install, deploy, and update this platform with some kind of customization, with depends on some kind of legal needs from different countries, from different customers, and so on, and using some kind of portal in forefront. And based on some like a unified infrastructure. So when our customer find a client for his solution, it's very easy for us to install it, to do the first step, to provide this solution to the end user and maintain it after that. It includes some kind of monitoring tools, some kind of reporting things, some kind of log stuff, some kind of budget control things, and so on.
That sounds great. Yeah. And as I said before, I think it's a really good idea for those companies that are thinking about DevOps to really use your expertise to get it started, because it's not easy if you don't know this area. But one thing that I'm also thinking about is the cost. And, you touched upon that in your presentation, that there need to be budget, you need to have control of that. But how should I justify, if I'm really keen on this, how should I justify the cost to my management team?
It's always a good question regarding cost optimization. And as I mentioned, it's two different sides. So you can pay for a maintenance, or you can pay for a compute and for a services. According to services, especially for a global cloud provider like AWS, Google, and Microsoft, there are too many tricky ways how you can save your budget, and too many traps where you can be like with the blind eyes and don't even understand that your next bill will be huge. For example, in AWS, we have a DynamoDB service, which is a simple key-value database. However, when it starts to be scaled, it's start charge you like 10, 100,000 times. And it's really hard to define what is the breaking point when you have no expertise in that.
Yeah, thanks for a really complete answer. But now I'm starting to think about a little more, how does it work on a practical level? Because it is about merging both on one side the development and on the other side the operation. So how can you really help and merge these and get them to connect on a practical level with these two different teams?
Actually, it can be like a nightmare from time to time, because always people want to do something out of the process, breaking the rules, do some kind of depends on some kind of short period needs and so on. So the main rule here is when you build some kind of processes and try to automate them is to be sure that everybody will follow this process. And in such way, when you have no like backdoors, no option to do something wrong, this process will work correctly. And as a final score, you will have like a win. So you will reach your goal rather than waste your time to some kind of communication, fix some process changes and so on. So it's really important to have a strict rules when you build some kind of processes.
Strict rules. It sounds like a very important part to make a successful complex project a success. So that is great. But one final question, because you made me really curious about this. And what are the big traps when it comes to the budget that I should look out for? What are the typical things that I should be careful and not to fall into?
From my experience, one of the latest case was related to startups program from our customers. Especially, it's related to some kind of small projects which are only on the beginning of their way. Many of cloud providers suggest and provide some kind of startup program when they allow to use their infrastructure for free for 1 year, for example, or provide multiple credits for their infrastructure, and projects start use it, and create as much services as they can, not think about the budget, because for now it's free. Why not? I can use everything I want. However, when time is passing, the bills start coming, and you are already some kind of under the vendor lock. So you are not able to say, okay, I'm moving out. I just want to switch to another solution and so on. So it required additional development. It required additional maintenance. It required additional budget as a result. So even if you have something for free, you need to remember that in our world, nothing are for free as a result.
Yeah, I would call it that. There's no free lunches. I think we all know that. But, it can, on this other side, be very costly unless you use the right partners. So I think with that, I would like to thank you, Vedder, and also, urge everybody that are interested in DevOps and considering this to contact Vedder and use the generous offer to really try to see if it would be a fit for you. So thanks a lot.
Thank you for your attention.